Hey, yo,
Ew.
good afternoon, good evening, people all over the world. It is the popped up, sitting low edition of Wakanda Whiskey and Bourbon Blurtum. We here together on a Friday night. My man Paul and Mark are not with us tonight. Paul is actually engineering, so shout out to the Big Don Dada. And Mark is traveling. So I was asked to come on tonight, and I have a guest, and we're going to get into some stuff tonight. Uh, there might be some jaws tight, and it might be some good things come out of our discussion on the night. We're letting it fly tonight. So we're just telling you right now, get your popcorn. It's about to go down. And we're going to talk about some deep things, whatever. You know, as a comic book collective, we talk about comics, we talk about collectors, we talk about creators, we talk about a lot of things in our space. But rarely do we really get to slow down and peel back the curtain. And so tonight I have a guest that's going to help us do that. My man here is no stranger to you guys. He is an artist. He is a tattoo artist. He is a sculptor. He is a seasoned artist in regards to his pen. His pen is sick. I love his work. He is a mainstay in our space here at Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever. You can catch him over in Blurcore. You can catch him on the buy, sell, and trade. My man is also a connoisseur of original art. Um, he does it all. And tonight we're going to talk about some things that have happened that he's been a part of as well. Our discussion is going to be thick, so I'm just letting y'all know. So I want to introduce to some and present to others my man Otis, Black Line Arterberry. How you doing, sir?
Good evening. Good evening, Brother Richard. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Better than I deserve. I'll say it like that.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. I take it.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah.
So
Uh, good.
go ahead.
No, no, please.
No, I was just gonna say. So um, this is a special request. So my brother. So let's get into this. Let's not delay the time. Let's just get into
Uh,
the thick of things. Let's just talk about. First, let's just talk about the work that you've done with Black Kirby. Let's talk about that. Just give us some information, if you don't mind, on that. What it actually is, your role in it, and our cause to celebrate tonight with
okay.
the fam.
Okay. Black Kirby, which is Professor Professor John Jennings and Professor Stacy Robinson. Um, I've been fans of theirs forever. I met them at New York Comic Con 2016. Took a picture together. Who knew? Like 6 years later, I would be actually working with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It's dope. They awesome individuals. They we're friends on Facebook. We would correspond, and it was mentioned to me at a art gallery about this project that they had going, and if they had a place for me, they would holler at me, and they did, and I came up with an idea of what to do with something. I kind of, tried to make it happen, and they loved it, and I just went for it. I made some Funko Pops. These right here, the first original. This way, yeah, the
Yeah.
first original Evan Funko Pop. You got Evan. You got the robot. You got the professor. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And being a part of this project is extra special. I can honestly say this is like one of the top three things in my life that um, I've ever done, accomplished, or been a part of. This is not only like something that's just dope, period. It's history. Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller is awesome. He's an awesome man. He walks amongst us. You know what I mean? He
Yes, sir.
contributes to the groups. He comments, he likes, shares, things of that nature. And he's getting his flowers. And and like I was told earlier today, he's getting a parade. And he deserves that parade. He deserves a Thanksgiving Macy's size day parade because he's had this all this time and it's just been sitting. And
Yes.
then we found it. And when I say we, I say individuals. I mean we as a collective.
Right.
And I'm going to keep going back to the point of we as a collective. You're going to hear me say that a lot tonight because a collective is what we need to be. And that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, I probably went off track. I'm sorry.
No. You're good. You're good. You're good. I mean, I think that's important because, and to kind of piggyback on what you're talking about, as far as Black Kirby is concerned, we know that there was an arts and entertainment article on LA Times that actually celebrated Black Kirby and the work of Larry Fuller, the inspired work of the both professors, and it was huge because the LA Times, first of all, just to give some people some perspective, is one of the largest media outlets in the world. Not in America. We're talking about the civilized world. We're talking about people, they subscribe to the LA Times in Japan. They subscribe to the LA Times in Germany. They subscribe to the LA Times in Russia. They subscribe to the LA Times in Africa. So we know that this art, this work, this amazing creative Mr. Larry Fuller's work will be seen for the very first time for some people. We've been privileged to talk and interact with Mr. Fuller in this space, and it has been an amazing journey. So we're celebrating that because what we're ultimately celebrating is we're celebrating Afrofuturism when that term wasn't even created. Mr. Fuller's book came out what year, Mr. Otis?
I want to say 60. See, now you're going to put me on the spot, man.
No. I'm just, it was the late 60s.
It was the late 60s. It was late 60s, around the same time when Luke Cage was being developed.
Right. And what I'm getting at is that, there was no such thing as Afrofuturism back then for the terminology goes, and so now it's an actual deal. But Mr. Fuller had the insight, the inspiration to be able to create a comic book that basically has transcended time.
Sure did.
And we have and let me just say, I don't want to choke when I say this, but if the closest thing that we have to that, as far as Afrofuturism in comics, is the Intergalactic Republic of Wakanda.
Here we go. No, come on.
So we have to give.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
We have to give. I knew he was going to pop in and say that. But look, I mean, we have to give Ta-Nehisi Coates his props. But here's the thing about that, Otis. Ta-Nehisi Coates stands on the shoulders of Larry Fuller. I don't even know if Ta-Nehisi Coates has read Ebony. And he certainly doesn't, quote unquote, have to, but he has to at some point, and I know he's going to eventually come across it if he doesn't know about it now. He's going to have to give a nod to Mr. Larry Fuller and the work that in the foundation that was laid. A comic book that came out in the late 60s when there was no representation in terms of Black superheroes around at the time. It's an amazing thing. So we want to formally congratulate everyone that was attached to the Black Kirby exhibit and all of the work that was done. Was an amazing thing. I am humbled to have a small part in this. And I'll just be honest, Otis. Um, when I saw the article, the thing I wanted to do more than anything, my brother, I ran and shared that with my wife.
That's dope.
And
That's awesome.
the reason I shared it with her was because she knows that I have a passion for comics and black creatives and black collectors, and and to get a nod for the work that we do was amazing. And I wanted to just share that with her. I wasn't even tripping about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to share that with the woman that I love, and showing her something that I love. And I think that you're one of those cats that really loves what we do. You talked about the collective tonight, because that was definitely a collective effort to pull that off. Before there was Black Kirby or whatever, it was you called us Wakanda. We were different tribes, and you helped bring us together for this amazing project. Shout out to Big Phil, because Big Phil was on record as saying, and I have to give my brother his props. He was on record as saying that we need to document this. And I'm so grateful that we have what we have now, Otis. But just imagine if we had done that on top of this. You know what I'm saying? How much, and there's still time to quote unquote do that, but it really was a family and a collective effort. So if you don't mind, brother, just let's talk about the collective, the Black comic book community, and the state of address. Since you one of the pillars in our community, we need to be reminded from time to time what this thing is really all about, this thing of ours. So just share your heart with the people, bro.
Okay. I want to first say that what I'm about to say is what I feel. Y'all can throw that disclaimer up, however y'all do it. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't have one because I'm not a regular. You want to throw that disclaimer up, you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. We got you, bro.
Yeah. No, I got you. I'm trying to make sure y'all all right. Okay, all right. So,
all right.
All right. That was first off. I'm going to probably jump from subject to subject. So I hope you follow along. That's just how my brain works. You'll get it. It's like organized chaos. At the end, you'll get to the destination. You'll understand. Okay.
Right.
Now, I'm pulling back the curtain a little bit, and others may be upset that I'm doing this. They can be mad. I can understand that, but I'm going to pull back the curtain just a little bit. Not everything, but I'm going to pull it back a little bit. We have separate groups. All right, we have separate platforms, or not platforms, excuse me, but separate Facebook pages. Blurred Core, Rico's Buy, Sell, and Trade, of Black Comic Lords, Superheroes Forever, and we all kind of chat in the background.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We chat in the background. Now, I know of 3 subgroups, 3 groups that do the chatting. You know what I'm saying? That got some stuff going on. So I know there's more. I know there's more that I'm not a part of. And, I'm cool with that, because sometimes, like, me and Brother Richard can sit on a messenger and talk for like 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? But we can't do that if certain other cats are in the room, just because they're not on our same frequency.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
So there's subgroups. We made a family group a while ago. And the purpose was to I don't know if anybody saw the picture that I posted about an hour and a half ago. And I said, I am the watcher.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And I'm getting that put on a t-shirt because that's who I am. I am the watcher. I am the watcher. I was inspired to draw that. And that is what I do. I sit back and I watch. I participate, which I know the watcher doesn't do, but this is my watcher. I participate and you know, I'm with everybody and I participate in certain conversations. Certain ones I just stay away from because I know their intent. And a healthy debate or miscommunication and correction, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you see 246 comments on whether Black Adam is from Africa or Egypt, but only 3 people posted about the Larry Fuller exhibit, there's a problem.
Yes, sir.
That's a problem.
Yes, sir.
All right. Second thing, I'm going to go back to that. So we're going to put a pin in it, but I'm going to go back to that because I got to talk about something that's equally as important. I made a post about Billy Graham's granddaughter, Shauna. Awesome young lady, taking care of business. Wants her grandfather's name to be out there. COVID shut things down for a little while. They're trying to do a project, do a very dope project. She wanted a little traction on the Artist of Billy Graham Facebook page. We talked, and I told her, yo, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I got a whole community, all right? 4 different groups. Got at least 8,000 in a piece, probably more. I know there's more, but I just had to give her a number. I said, your grandfather is on the Mount Rushmore of our group. We love Billy Graham. If it wasn't for Billy Graham, there would be no Panthers Rage. Shout out to Don McGregor. But Billy Graham did it.
Right.
First Black man to do that. Right? All right. So he should be celebrated and talked about. Okay. So now his granddaughter, direct descendant, asked me, could I do that? And I said, you know what? I got 4 groups. 4 groups of die-hard Black comic book collectors. And they will definitely help you and your grandfather. He's the GOAT. That's what everybody calls him. He's the GOAT. So if I say the GOAT needs some help to get out there, you would think that cats will go run into that. Okay? To help build it.
Right.
Not one person. Nope, I take that back. I take that back. 2 people. 2 people posted in her group. 2 people posted in her group. Now, you got the granddaughter of the GOAT asking for direct help. It don't get no better than that. It doesn't get any rawer than that. She's asking for our help. And she shouldn't have to ask, but she did. So then I, in turn, asked for the help to help her. Nobody cared. Nobody shared it. Nobody even went to her page to do it except for those 2 people. And you know how I know that? Because I'm the watcher.
You watch.
Nobody posted it in any of their groups. Nobody shared. Nobody did any of that. But guess what? I saw a whole lot of mail calls. I saw a whole lot of mail calls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir.
So what I'm saying is now, and you're in this group for what you want to be in it for. You come here to enjoy it. And I dig that. I dig that. But I could have sworn we had a conversation about building as a collective.
Yes.
I could have sworn we had a conversation about right after we do what we do, because I'm not going to directly talk about it, because that's for another time. Right after we do what we do, this right here is the foundation. If we can come together as a whole to do this one thing for this person who we love, who's our foundation,
right,
then we can do anything. Because at the time, the boat was rocking. Right. Back then, the boat was rocking.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? I said, and I remember when I said it, I was like, if some of you out there, I know a lot of you are old enough to know the movie The Warriors. All right, I was Cyrus. I was Cyrus. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I don't say that. I don't say that to pat myself on the back. Not at all. I'm saying it to remind everyone of why we got together in the first place. Yes. Why we got together in the first place as a collective. No, we're not going to all get along. No, we're not all going to agree on things. No, we're not going to all like the same people. But when it comes to the Black comic book community, say it again, the Black comic book community, then all that garbage, we need to put it to the side.
Yeah. You know,
we need to put.
No, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I gotta.
No, I was just gonna say that shout out to you, Otis, for indicting, giving us the evidence, showing us the evidence of our lack of support, and as somebody who is big on that and wants the Black comic book community to be more than a flex session or more than a flex crew. You have given us food for thought in regards to Billy Graham. I will say this. I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for my collective. We're going to do more because I know me. I didn't get into this space, and I'm not a part of this collective to just collect a bunch of books and post them up and stunt. A lot of times the people that work in artistry, they don't get their flowers when they're supposed to. That's right. We did something amazing around Larry Fuller, but to your point, he's not the only one. And so there are others that we have to, put our arms around and throw our support behind. And Billy Graham is what's disturbing to me about it, Otis, and I feel this is my own disappointment, my own personal disappointment. This literally is low-hanging fruit. Easy for us to do. Not something that we had to logistically get across, or our allegiance or our alliances are not in the same order. None of that. Not even politics. Not even bickering with other groups. It's low-hanging fruit because, one, she's accessible to the collective. Two, we really know what he means to the community. And we have just not made it a priority. So shame on us for doing that. But we're going to do better. We're going to do better. We have to. So, Billy Graham deserves better, and we can't say that we love his art. We can't say that we love what he brought to the community, and we don't have a hand to reach out and help. So we're going to do better. That I will promise you. We're going to make something. We're going to make something happen.
And I'll put all of Shauna's information in the link, in the comments. So, and I'll even make a post about it so you can reach out to her. Which
Please do.
and I'm gonna and I'll tell, so now everybody's watching so they'll know. So I don't have to type it.
Right.
What she is asking is she wants you to do either a small video or take pictures of your collections or things in your collection of what Billy has or did. Sorry, and send them to her through email. If you do a video, she might reach out to you to do an interview, and she interview you and talk to you about what you have, why it is your passion for her grandfather's stuff. I mean, like, she's literally asking for our help.
Yes.
And if we don't help her, ain't nobody gonna help her. No, because to others, he's not who he is to us.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. You know,
right.
It's like we all.
Well,
I'm gonna go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that, you know, to just draw an analogy for some, you know, it's like Billy Graham for me is what I feel about Dwayne McDuffie writing. So, you know, I'm a story guy first, me personally, you know, and so when people ask me who's my favorite Black writer, that's easy. It's Dwayne McDuffie. Rodney Barnes is right there behind him, but it's Dwayne McDuffie. And you can't say anything different to me. And then when it comes to art, we know that Billy Graham, you know, here's the thing. He's the legend. He's the GOAT. He's the guy because at one point, he was the only guy.
Right.
But being the only guy didn't make him a token. Bro had skills.
Exactly.
That's the thing that people need to understand. It's not even about getting props from people outside the community.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, whether you know a person that is honest, that appreciates art or whatever, will look at Billy Graham's work on Black Panther, on you know, any other books that he's done,
Saber,
Savory, and have to admit that they're impressed. Especially the Savory stuff doesn't even get talked about.
I'm not. That's a whole different subject that we're gonna have to do a whole nother live.
Yeah.
We gotta do a whole nother live.
Suffice to say that, you know, we know this guy was a legitimate, 100% authentic Black artist who was in a white-dominated world for decades. That's the thing that we need to understand. We ain't talking about a few years and then they brought somebody on. Well, this guy was literally the island, you know. So, you know, we gotta make that happen. And the only way that make that happen, to Otis's point, those mail calls that Otis talked about, we gotta start putting our money where our pull list is, if that makes any sense. Because if we don't champion our brothers, our sisters, then when they fall off or when they become myths, you have to have guys like Ken Quattro come along and talk about artists that worked at DC, for example, in the 40s that no one knows about. Right. It's a complete mystery. And the thing about Billy Graham is we're talking 50 years. So we're literally talking a generation that doesn't know his contribution. A generation, mind you, if we don't tell the story, if we don't, you know, spread the word, if we don't make it known, we'll lose. They'll look at, you know, when we mention Billy Graham, they'll think it's an evangelist. They'll think it's somebody else. They won't think it's actually him. You know what I'm saying? The black artists, you know, that did Black Panther. I mean, here's, you know, there's so much to that, but I digress, Otis. We're talking about this particular situation with all of these groups, and at times we can come together. It seems it's not a problem. When we put our heads together, things can happen. We know that.
Yeah.
But it takes us, you know, sacrificing our comfort zones to make this thing happen. So could you talk a little bit? I don't want to structure this like an interview, but in some ways it has to be just so we can, you know, give the people some food for thought as you share your heart. How do we, and I'm just asking for your opinion, how do we break the monotony among the collective? You know, and really and really have that fellowship that we need. Do we do things like have a conclave once a month? I mean, you know, what do you think, bro?
Okay.
How do we engage one another?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like they engage, you know, every day. We all see. I don't want one thing. I don't want the members of the family group or culture, and any of the other ones. I don't want anybody to think that I'm putting our dirty laundry for the world to see.
No.
Because that's not what I'm doing.
No.
I'm doing it this way because I know if I went into either one of those groups and called a meeting, you know, I'm not saying that nobody is gonna answer. I'm not saying nobody's gonna answer, but I needed to say what I needed to say without any rebuttals.
Right.
I needed to say what I needed to say without anybody saying, well, but you know what? I didn't want that. And I don't want to argue with anybody. So I just wanted to say, what I really wanted to do was just do a video and say what I had to say, and that's it. But this right here works. And if I am doing the family or culture disservice, then I apologize, because that's not what I'm doing here. That's not what I'm doing here. If you want to boot me because of this, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. I understand. I do. But I'm doing this because I love y'all. Now I'm about to get a little deep.
Let's go.
Okay. And this is what I mean by pulling back the curtain. I shared some of this with some of you in the family groups and in private conversations. In the beginning, it was just me. And Brother Richard, you talked about this, and Paul, how you came up and it was just you. You had nobody to share your stories with. Nobody cared about your Black Panther's adventures in the Avengers. Nobody cared about Jungle Action. Side note, going back to what you said a few minutes ago, a young man, when I posted that hardcover book the other day, a young man asked me, what is that? And I said, oh, this is Panther's Rage. It's Don McGregor, Billy Graham, the greatest Black Panther story ever. It's him versus the Klan. He's fighting dinosaurs, and I'm all excited. And this guy was like, there was a Black Panther before the one from the movie? And I said, yeah. And then he was like, wait a minute. He said, no, I collect Black Panther comic books. He's like, the Intergalactic, Republic of Wakanda. Gave him a high five. You know what I'm saying? I was like, my man.
Yeah.
He said, are you telling me that there's stories before that? And I said, yeah. Yeah, I said, get the book. He was like, well, I don't know. It's kind of expensive. I said, the book is $50 at Barnes & Noble, $37 on Amazon.
Yes, sir.
You go in the comic book shop anyway. Earlier I was told, not everybody's going to buy that book that you picked up, Otis. You posted that book and it's cool, but not everybody's into the same stuff you're into. Listen, that book is a compilation of the whole Panthers Rage story. You know how much those comic books cost? I know you do because I see mail calls. You know what I'm saying? You like that's the whole story right there. You know, you have your compilation. And that book, and I don't know if anybody knows this, because it's Penguin Publishing, I did some research. The reason why this is so dope is because that book can be put in schools and teachers can use that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm that's what I'm talking about. This goes way beyond the dopest variant cover. It goes way beyond the 1 in 50s. It goes way beyond the 9.8s. It goes way beyond it. You know what I'm saying? What we're trying to do goes way beyond that. So now I go back to the serious stuff that I was saying. See, there we go. All right. It was just me. It was just me.
Right.
Had nobody to tell these stories to. I came across these groups a few years ago. It was beautiful. I found my island of misfit toys. I belong here.
Yes,
I get to tell my stories. I get to show my original artwork. I get to show my original artwork. Nobody cared about my original artwork. Nobody. I get to show my stuff. I get to tell stories. I get to tell what my favorite story is and talk to people about what their favorite book is on Wednesday. What was your read? What did you like? And I loved it.
Yes.
And it was beautiful. Content after content. I learned about Eben through this group.
Yes.
I had no idea about Larry Fuller. I didn't know who he was. So I'm learning through this group. These are the things as Black comic book collectors we should learn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We should learn.
Yes.
One thing that me with these groups, then I started noticing things. I started noticing this person over here messing with this person, and this person over here messing with this person, and we're all grown-ups. We take a little shots here and there, and we do our thing. But then it gets personal.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, and this is a disclaimer part, Paul. Most definitely. Okay. Thank you. What the hell does my white wife have to do with my blackness or my Black collecting?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It has nothing. What do let me get this phrase right, mud duck biracial children have to do with comic book collecting? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. I understand people have their feelings about what they have their feelings about. But the bottom line is, we're here because we love comic books. We're here because we love the collecting aspect. We love the characters. We love the story. And we're all together because we found people that we can talk with. Now, not everybody has to get along because not everybody believes in the same stuff and does the same things. But we're all human. We are all human. And comic book collecting, we've all been there.
Yes, sir.
This wasn't always as popular as it is now. Okay? Some people got beat up for this stuff. Some people got thrown in lockers. Some people got their books ripped and thrown. Some people had to use these books as an escape. Some people had to Spectacular Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Spectacular Spider-Man. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
All right? That book right there, that book that we bring up every once in a while.
Yes.
That's my childhood, man. So then, when someone posts that book and they say, this is my book, I love this book, whatever. And then people say, well, nah, that's not the first Black Spider-Man. That's stupid. He was just dreaming, blah, blah, blah. They go on and on and on and on. you're missing the point. You're missing the point of why that book is so beautiful.
Yes.
You're thinking about the value. This is the first Black Spider-Man. That has nothing to do with it. Did you read the story?
Yeah.
And if you did, and you read that story and you didn't feel anything,
something wrong.
I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. Like I get that, you know, we do this thing for value. You know, a lot of people get it so they can flip it and they can make money. And I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I'm not. But I feel like we're getting away from the direction that we were going. We're getting away from the education. There are others that are watching and learning. There are others who are now seeing the value of the books that we share and that we hold high.
Mm-hmm.
And they're watching us argue about whether Black Adam is Egyptian or African. So then we're like, so they sit back and they're like, yeah, let them bicker amongst each other, and then we going, you know, learn their secrets, and then we gonna slide in and boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's what I'm saying. And because of the bickering, little stuff like that should not have 246 comments. It really shouldn't.
No.
You know, but so what I'm saying is like, we need to get ourselves together as a collective. I remember saying after the project that we work on, if this is smooth and this works, I think, you know, maybe we should reach out to some boys clubs, you know, start some reading programs. We each live in a different city. I got Wakanda Alliance is in Buffalo. This is a group that started because of Ta-Nehisi Coates' run. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow they're doing their first their first summer project, and they're reviewing Reginald Hudlin's run. So they read a comic book every session, and so they're going to go through the whole Hudlin run, 1 through 5. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's stuff going on in our communities that we can be a part of.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And I will say, let me just jump in real quick. I will say that to your point, these are things that we don't have to build from the ground up. There are already people doing the work. We can partner with organizations. We can partner with certain people and you know, make those kind of things happen. If you don't feel like what you have is worth sharing, or you know, you don't really know what to do. I mean, it's about outreach. You know, I was thinking about something a few days ago, and you know, it's like when you love something so dear, and I'm gonna talk about an artist that you and I love, Jimi Hendrix. And Jimi Hendrix was so good at his art, but it didn't stop him from clinging to things or clinging to the very thing he loved. He let it go. He would literally burn his guitar. And it simulated like a sacrifice. And that's the thing I think that a lot of times in our collecting, in our zeal to get these books and to get the first appearance of this and to get, you know, these important books, that we fail to keep our hands open. Because if your hand is closed, you can't receive nothing and you can't give nothing. So it's like we have to find a medium to where it's okay to, like you say, collect these books and get your money if you're going to do that. But the part of us has to be in a place where we're thinking about the collectors behind us. I find that story you told about the young brother, you know, amazing, because if we can just get a youngster to just ask a question, what is that? We have the answers. It's not like we don't have the answers. We have the answers. We just need to position ourselves to answer the question. You know what I'm saying? And so to your point, you know, we have to get ourselves together. We have to really think about we have to think about more than our personal collections. We have to think about what's coming behind us because guess what? You and I are getting, we're not spring chickens.
Right.
And somebody's going to inherit our collection, our personal collections. But at the same time, people are going to also inherit our knowledge. They'll watch these videos. They'll
Right.
see things that we put up on, our website at Black Comic Lords.
Yeah.
The information is going somewhere. And we have to be serious about the foundation in which we're trying to build. And just to your point, we talked about this earlier. The whole idea of starting a website for Black Comic Lords was because we store a lot of information. We share a lot of information on the YouTube stuff. Not the YouTube, the Facebook stuff. What if that goes south tomorrow?
Yeah.
This is not the first platform. Everybody remembers MySpace.
Right.
But where's MySpace to this day? They're gone. Everybody remembers Black Planet or Black Voices. Okay, nowhere to be found. And so, we're crazy to think that Facebook is going to be around another 20 years or another 10 years. So I was like, we gotta take this information and transport it to a database or to a place where everyone that doesn't have to be a member of YouTube, of Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, can go and use. And that's just thinking about somebody besides yourself. So speak to the community in regards to the attitudes that we have. Let's talk about the attitudes, bro. Because I honestly feel a lot of this is not about people's desire, if I can say it like that, but sometimes it's just our attitude. It's like, okay, well, how do I feel about my collection? How do I feel about my people? Because here's the thing, the reason why the situation with Larry Fuller is dope is because Larry Fuller genuinely cared about Black people. There's no way you can say, I'm going to just make a story about a man from outer space. No, that your mind has to be still to create a universe where it all makes sense. John Jennings, to his credit, and what's the other professor's name?
Professor Stacey Robinson.
Professor Robinson. They took what he established and expanded it.
Yeah.
It's like the old saying about hip hop. Hip hop didn't invent anything, but it reinvented everything. So now there's potential for Eben to be, in the public square on a commercial level.
Yeah.
And if we're not the ones to champion that, somebody can come along easy. Like you said.
But I've seen so many posts about Obi-Wan. I've seen so many posts about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, all right. You all right? The Star Wars. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I don't mean to cut you off.
Good.
I didn't mean to cut you off. But you just said that they created that world. They took Mr. Fuller's stuff and expanded it and made a whole exhibit showing a brand new world. I believe Obi-Wan is their backstories of Star Wars and like this is new worlds that you don't know about. It's the same stuff. So why is everybody talking about Obi-Wan, but nobody's even trying to holler at the exhibit? Like, you got a Black man, a special human being that has an exhibit that has never been done before. Something that this group is the foundation of this group. It's one of the grails of this group. Everybody wants an Eben. Okay? Yes. The man who made Eben has a whole exhibit there. All right? If you can't make it to California, that's okay. I understand that. I couldn't go myself. There ain't nothing wrong with that share button. Because you don't mind sharing that Black Adam might be Egyptian or African.
Yeah.
You don't mind sharing what's going on with Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
You don't mind sharing mail calls. I'm sorry. I'm doing it again.
No.
I apologize. This goes to what I was trying to say. This is I was building up and then I stopped. I love this community.
Yes, sir.
I love this community. Some of y'all might look at me and be like, why is this dude tripping? What is wrong with him? They're just comic books. It's just a Facebook group. Does he not have a life? Oh, yeah, I got a life. But I'm telling you that this Black comic book community, I love it. I'm not just here to show off what I have. I'm not just here to show off the new things that I got. I'm here to learn, and I'm here to teach. Learn, teach. And all of us should be here doing that. Absolutely. In some way, shape, or form. If anybody wants to know about original artwork, where to find it, different websites, what to look for, reach out to me. I have no problem. I'll do, and that was another thing. We had talked about that before. I'm doing lives about educating, asking Willie Cordy, could he help educate us? Asking Rico, could he help educate us? You know what I'm saying? Asking people who know the things that we don't know. We are so powerful when we're all together.
Right.
And we showed that. We showed that. We literally, there is no, I wonder if it'll work. It worked. It worked. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it went beyond. It went beyond any of us thought.
And this is the last thing. It worked for us. That we got together and we did something. We have to understand that we got to stop this garbage infighting. Because that's all it is. It's garbage infighting. It's ego. It's mine is better than yours. That's not what this is about. It's about sharing. It's about knowledge. We keep fighting with each other. As Black people, we keep fighting with each other.
Yeah.
I don't want to take it into a different realm, but we were taught to fight each other.
Oh, yeah.
We were taught to hate each other. Yeah. And it expands even to this day. If you got, and I'll tell you a great example of it. You see it all the time, memes. Light-skinned niggas look like this. Dark-skinned niggas look like this. And they crack jokes, and I'm not gonna front. Some of it's funny.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that is just another version of house nigga, field nigga.
Yeah.
That's all that is. But we share those. And we have a great time doing it. Crabs in a barrel mentality. We can't have those. I'm not talking directly in like this. I'm holding my phone because I'm trying to charge it.
No,
I don't want to die. So I don't
good.
want y'all thinking I'm freaking out here. You know, crabs in a barrel mentality. That's what it is. Oh, and here's a great example of that. And I know I'm gonna get some heat for this one, but I don't care. If somebody posts anything, a book, if somebody says, hey, I got this book. This been one of my grails. I've been after it for months. I finally got it at a good price. This is so dope. And they show it to you. And it's a raw, I don't know, Black Panther number 67. And then somebody comes in the comments with a 9.6 or 9.8 or whatever and say, oh, welcome to the club. Or that looks dope. But shows a picture that, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not poo-poo on somebody else's parade. And I see a lot of that. There's a lot that's been going on for years and nobody talks about it. And maybe it doesn't bother anybody, maybe it's just me. But it's, to me, when someone does stuff like that, as the watcher, when someone does stuff like that, that shows me how insecure you are.
Right.
About certain stuff. Now, certain people are allowed to do it. Rico, Rico's allowed to do it. I don't
Press
care what
time. Shout out to
Rico can
Press time.
Debo anytime he wants.
Yeah.
Rico's the only person that can do it.
Yeah.
Rico's the only person that can do it.
Hold that thought, Otis. Oh, Paul, I need you to pull up real quick. I need you to pull in real quick. Come on, Paul. I need him to pull in real quick because I got to step away for a hot second.
Pull up what?
No, I'm just saying I'm finna leave screen. I need you to talk to Otis real quick. I got to do something real quick.
Oh, got you.
Be right back, guys. Keep talking, Otis. Do your thing.
All right. I'm sorry, and I want to go back with my last statement. Rico Jones, the professor, can Debo whenever he wants to. He's the only person that I don't mind doing that. But because he don't do it maliciously. It's not malicious when he does it, and you know that. You know that. But cats, that's what they do. And what that does is that discourages people from posting. That discourages people from sharing. It's like being bullied in school. And I know you say, well, you got to be tough. Well, maybe he should toughen up and get himself a 9.8. Nah, it's not about that. It's not about that. Let that brother shine. Let him shine. I've had many occasions where I got a mail call, some original art, and if somebody posts something big, I won't post for like 2 days. Let that person shine. That's what it's all about. I guess the point I'm trying to make with all this ranting and raving and stuff that I'm doing is I love these groups and I'm very passionate about these groups. I care about these groups. I don't just care about my collection showing you and showing you that I got better stuff than you. That's not what this is about. I love all of this. I told someone earlier today, a leader looks back, sees that last generation, and tries to pull them up. Not to walk in front, not to walk right behind, but walk next to them, because you're not going to be a leader all the time. A leader makes other leaders. And that's what we have to do, because none of us is going to be here forever. Hopefully this continues to go. And one thing that I kept wanting to say, and it kept slipping my mind, there are only 4 main groups that move the needle. And those are people that are watching us. And they know who they are. There are 4 groups, okay? And I'm not talking bad about any of the other Black comic book groups. I'm not. But we know that in those 4, we got the hardcore foundation of Black comic book community. All this power that we got in these groups, we should be doing a whole lot more with it. And I'm guilty as well. I'm guilty as well. I'm not just pointing the finger. I've been slacking. Crazy. I missed the whole comic book variant opportunity because I wasn't quite right. You know what I'm saying? I messed that up. So I have no problem admitting my fault. I want to do better, and I want all of us to do better. And those, I hate this word, casuals, yes, I said it. I hate that word. Casuals, try to educate them. If you don't really know a whole lot about comics, don't be afraid to ask. And those of you who always comment and stuff, let them ask. Don't make them feel stupid or beneath you because they didn't know. How could you not know that? How could you be a real BP fan if you shut up? Don't do that. Because then why would they come back? Each one of us, well, maybe not all of us, were bullied at one time, knew what it was like to be or made to feel inferior. So why would you do that to your brothers and sisters in these groups? Why would you make them feel inferior when you know you've done it or you've been through that yourself? And if you haven't been through it, you know somebody who has, because that's what it is. Let people learn. Don't make them feel less because they don't know. It took them enough to say something. There's something that someone, and I'm not going to say their name, does, but he doesn't do it now. He don't do it a lot now, but he used to do it all the time. Somebody would post for the first time, and he would say, "Great stuff. Hope to see you again. Don't let this be the first and only time that you post." Or comment some wild reckless something about what they did. Like, don't do that. If this is their first post, you let them come in. Let them come in. You know, don't scare them away. We are, Rich, you weren't on here when I said it, but we are, the 4 groups that we have are the most powerful. And it's no disrespect to the other groups. But we have hardcore, foundational Black comic collectors. And we have so much power in this group. All of us do something different. We need to be doing more than showing mail calls. We need to be doing more than showing mail calls. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't like that I'm married to a white woman. I don't care if you are mad because I got biracial kids. I don't care if you're mad because I got Billy Graham's original. I need to work with you. You need to work with me. We need to work together as a collective to build this for the kids, for the next generation of collectors. Let's not just live in these moments. Let's make some history.
Yes.
Something that's going to last.
Amen.
I want my grandson to be a moderator of one of these.
That's what's up.
And be like, my grandfather was the OG. Well, my grandfather's the OG in this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. So call me crazy. Say I'm yelling. I'm bugging out. I'm just passionate about these groups, and I love these groups, and I love everybody in them because I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad to be here. I just don't want to fight no more.
Right.
And I want us to do something together before somebody comes in and does it for us.
Oh yeah. And I will say something. Let me say something real quick about accountability, because I think that at the end of the day, a large part of this is being accountable to one another, and everybody's not always comfortable with that. But here's the truth. If you know anything about me, I talk about stuff when I do shows or whatever. That's not. I sometimes take the unpopular stance when it turns to certain stories or whatever, and that's just me keeping it real. But I don't sit up and talk negative about something because I just don't like it. I expect better. I expect more. So what you're doing tonight, Otis, is just calling us out and helping us to do more. You're expecting more. And that's called being accountable. You know, I live by a biblical principle that says much is given, much is required. And so for me, it's about, okay, what good is it to have all of that flash stuff if it doesn't translate into somebody coming along and becoming a collector, enjoying the hobby or whatever? Shout out to Brandon Easton. Brandon Easton said some things on his Facebook page that I thought was interesting. He was talking about people complaining about, you know, all the sci-fi stuff that we got, and people are complaining about it. And it's like, when we was kids, all we had was Star Trek. I'm talking about before Star Wars, okay? Space 1999, you know, Battlestar Galactica, the first one. I mean, and we didn't have all of that at the same time. We literally had that like by itself. When you saw Battlestar Galactica, there was no, you would have to watch. If you saw Star Trek, there was Star Trek reruns, but weren't live shows, nothing like that. So, because there's so much stuff out here and guys can get their books graded, and you know what I'm saying, it's a little flair in the game or whatever, and that's fine. I'm not one that poo-poos, you know, stunning. I just think that that's, you know, that's minimum. You know, it's like, okay, can I take this collection, my love for this fandom, my love for this art, and can I put it in the hands of another kid? Can I put it in the hands of the next generation? And I think sometimes,
Message.
I think that's sometimes where we lose sight. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I want us to think about this for a quick second. The project where we were able to get Mr. Fuller the plate back to him um, was amazing, and we did that like on the fly. It wasn't something that we had like months to plan or whatever. We had to literally get together, get our pool our resources, um, you know, logistically get it to him, that kind of thing. Um, that was amazing. But if you'd have told me a year from now, 6 months ago, whatever, that we would be talking about an art exhibit, that professors would actually be talking about what we do for fun, talking about Eben, the importance of it, and that kind of thing. I don't have an Eben,
Me
um,
neither.
but we think so much of the book that we, you know, herald it and its creator, um, because it's too important. It's like anything in our timeline. You know, this weekend we're celebrating Father's Day. We're also celebrating Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, grandfathers, and
Yep.
all of you out there. Salute. And we also celebrate Juneteenth. And a lot of people want to know what's the big deal about Juneteenth, because it's about Texas. On the surface, some people think it's just about Texas getting the information late. And you have to remind people that one, there when the Emancipation Proclamation was written, they were still fighting. The fighting didn't just stop because Lincoln wrote a document. Okay, that number one. Number two, when Granger took his soldiers down to Galveston, there were 6,000 soldiers, a troop, you know, a lot of soldiers, and about, from what I've heard, about 4,000 of them were black people, and they went into Galveston to the courthouses and declared that you have to let these people go. It took 2 years. We didn't have email. We didn't have Pony Express. You got information. You literally had to walk it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, these slaves who had been slaves their whole life saw these black soldiers coming to liberate them. If you want to know why representation, why the importance of representation is important, it's as old as our history. The reason why we champion these books, the reason why we champion this hobby and the collective, because it's attached to history. See, that's the thing I think, Otis, that we fail to realize is that a lot of our art is attached to our history. You can't tell the history of black people without the art or the
Yep.
artist.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it behooves us to get past our own pockets and really celebrate what we're doing. I know a couple of guys right now, and it breaks my heart what they're doing. But it's not my fight. But at the core of it, it has nothing to do with the love of the hobby. Nothing to do with the love of the hobby. And that's the sad part about why there's so much infighting. Because when we break it down, Otis, I said this once before, that we need a safe word.
Mm-hmm.
And I said
Sure
that word
did.
was comics. It's like
Comments. Yep.
when you start tripping on a man's family, a man's home, something wrong with that. I'm like, I'll walk up to you, just say comics. Get back to why we're here. That has nothing to do with this other stuff. So I feel you, bro. All we can do is take our best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure that there are other things that are going to happen behind the scenes and in the future that the black comic book community, because here's the thing too, the black comic book community is large. I don't want nobody to think that it's a couple of guys. No, it's pretty large. I had a conversation with Big Phil, and we were just talking about comics, but we were talking about how a lot of people don't comment. They don't even post books. They just go through the space and they just check stuff out, and they don't comment. I don't know how it is where you are in Buffalo, but I see black comic heads when I go in my shops.
Yeah, we got some. We got some here. Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so, you know what I'm saying? But it's like we're stuck in the past, and we don't know how to, transport ourselves into the future, because we think that we have a low opinion of what it is we do. And I think as long as you think small, it'll be small.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like Yoda when he told Luke about lifting his ship out of the swamp. And he told him to do it, and he couldn't do it. He says it's just too heavy. And so Yoda just, Yoda's about 2'5".
Yeah. No.
He just kind of closed his eyes and kind of did his little three fingers to that and lifted the whole ship. And he said, "I can't believe it." And Yoda tells him, "And that is why you fail." And so I think that for us, we have to recognize and respect the value of this community. I want to show somebody something real quick, Otis, because you're my man.
I'm gonna turn my AC off. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're my man. Behind me is my wall, and I change out this wall all the time. This wall is full of Shaman's tears, Mike Grail. I want to show people the power of community. Me and Otis were having a conversation about art. Just two old heads talking about comics and talking about art. And I told Otis, I said, "Otis, I can't really get into the art thing like that because I'm one of these guys that, I'll wind up trying to buy everything that they got." And I brought up Mike Grail. And so the whole wall is filled with Mike Grail books from Shaman's Tears, the whole run. And my man, he got an opportunity to meet Mike Grail, and he got him to do me a custom piece that I cherish and love. Now, here's the thing. I'm not the biggest Shaman's Tears guy. I just know when I see Mike Grail's art in Green Arrow, I'm not even a Green Arrow guy, but it's when it comes to art, I'm one of these guys that if I'm walking down the street and I see something that captivates my eye, I have to sit there and have a conversation with whatever it is I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? And Mike Grail is one of those artists that does that for me. So here's the thing. We have a community here where we're able to share our stories. We're able to share, because here's the thing. There's always a story behind a story. and everybody's not privy to those stories. But we talk about fellowship, we talk about community. These are the kind of things that happen in community. This can't happen when we're solo and we're just kind of chilling and we just kind of doing our own thing. I joke and laugh with Phil all the time, because he told me, you're not a real hardcore black collector if you don't have, Black Panther 52. I got a reprint. But in his heart, his mind, that's the truth for him. And we agree to disagree. But that's my brother. So I'm going to, honor my brother and how he sees, the community, and he does the same for me as well. And we do that same thing for each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you guys an example of what's it like when the community is working right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because to your point, Otis, you said that a lot of us were alone when we were kids. Let's just keep it a stack. A lot of us were grown and alone.
Yeah.
Before we
Yep.
found each other in these spaces. And
That's right.
so, man, we gotta do better. We gotta pledge to do better with one another. And I know this video is probably going to be seen later on, and people will check it out and hear. Imani Latif is somebody that's in our space he's an artist too, does a lot of stuff around independent, but he's a cat that has a love for kids as well. And the outreach stuff that he does, that's a part. There are people that are doing the work.
Awesome.
They just don't get recognized or acknowledged. And let's just keep it another stack. Some people don't, they don't toot their own horn, and they shouldn't have to. But because there's a lot of people that do the work. I mean, the stuff that we do, bro, is around this hobby. It's the coolest hobby ever.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't have any issues with it. Right. But we do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're flawed human beings that need help with one another. And we just got to do better. Tamiko says all the infighting just sets us back. I agree 100%. It does. Yeah. But we got our work cut out for us. But I'm glad that we're having this conversation, though, because it was overdue.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you know how it is. Sometimes stuff just kind of brews, and you kind of leave it alone. You kind of see stuff, and you're like, okay, and then you get to a point, gets to a boiling point, and you're just like, come on, y'all, And again, we don't all have to like one another, but what we do have to do is respect one another. And part of that respect is, acknowledging, one, that it ain't about me, and two, that I need my brother. I need Otis. He needs me. Yeah. I need Phil. I need Rico. I need Jay. Yeah. I need Paul. I need Herschel. I need my brothers. I need my sisters, Tamiko. I need Brianna. I need my fam. And because guess what? What good is it for us to have all this stuff and we can't even have a conversation about what it is that we geeking over?
Word.
Because we're beefing.
Word.
So
for real. For real.
But let me ask you, man. You put a lot on our plate tonight to consider. Going forward, because we gotta talk about going forward. And what I mean by that is, what I'm saying, the exhibit for Black Kirby, for those who don't know, it's on exhibit till the 19th, which is tomorrow. So the good people out in California that are able to go are going to be able to go, and it's kind of cool that it's Father's Day weekend and that it's Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's cool to just go check out, and bug out to. So I'm grateful for that. But going forward, I know that there's opportunities for action figures and the Funko Pops. And I already put my order in. I want a Funko. I don't have to have the Yvonne, but I'm gonna give me an Yvonne Funko Pop.
I got you.
Nothing else. I'm gonna get one of those. I just need one of those for real, man, because that's the article that Paul is sharing right there. And again, brother, let's salute Otis to the community. I'm saying this because Otis was the guy that got us all together, got us all in the same room, and got us and gave us a purpose. No, it's not a traveling exhibit. It's not a traveling exhibit, unfortunately. But he got us in the room to do something cool for a collector, for a creator that was still here. And that's the thing about you talk about Billy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if
Take your time, bro. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
if we could do half of that for the estate and for the family of Billy Graham,
Yeah, man.
we can actually say, Otis, we did something.
Yeah.
Because to your point, if we don't do it, who will?
Yeah.
And the other part to that is, can we even live with ourselves if we don't? Because
Some sorry.
I mean, we you know, our community has this thing about martyrs. We we love our martyrs.
Mm-hmm.
But we have very little respect for those that live. You know, Dennis Cowan is he's not a spring chicken, but he deserves flowers. Reginald Hudlin, I don't care what anyone says. That dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I've loved that dude since House Party.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all these creators that are around. We got to find a way to give them their flowers as well. But going back to Billy Graham, I feel like the opportunity is there for us to do something special on behalf of him because he's not here to get his flowers. But if we can do that for his grandbaby,
Mm-hmm. And for his
you know,
family, yeah.
that's setting something right. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff is water under the bridge, but you still gotta sometimes just set stuff right. Um, it you know why is it that Billy Graham doesn't have uh, a more reverence? People talked about who's the guy that the white guy that just passed. Just this past week.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of it is, but we know about George Perez,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Talking
and
Neil Adams?
yeah, Tim Sale.
Oh,
That
Tim Sale.
Neil
Tim Sale, yes.
Tim Sales, is the guy that just passed or whatever, and people, or there's a con here in Dallas, and they're celebrating, his life. But when black creators die, oh well, we just go on to the next thing. And we have to do better, you know what I'm saying? We have to hold we have to hold each other accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable because it's like, man, too many people have gone to the graveyard and have not received, their proper due. So I can't speak for everybody. I know that I'm consciously, personally going to do more around the estate of Billy Graham because I feel my heart was pricked tonight when I heard you talk about that. Because again, we talk about these books and I guess for me, it's one of those things where you could be so caught up in what you got going on that you can't really stop to really see the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I would have hated the ball to dropped. on our watch.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
you know, again, you know, this is, you know, we talk that family stuff. We talk that's my brother. I'm my brother's keeper. I'm my sister's keeper. But like, who are we really keeping? You know, and so for me, I can't sit idly by and watch, you know, this just go under. You know, you know, God has been too good to all of us. We have the amazing collections we have, not because of we just great people or whatever. You know, we're blessed. Um, you, you know, Otis, you to have original art by Bill, something that the man's hand drew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you know,
And directly from the
it's
family too. No middle deals. No middle deals. It came straight from the house. Came straight from the house. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you know,
Yeah.
that's all in itself is amazing. And so um we just have to be just like we were, you know, those of us that don't have an Evan, we were willing to marshal our efforts together and make that happen. We may not have any original art, but if you have a heart for you know, this hobby, the creators in it, the people that the forefathers that made it happen,
Yes.
it goes without saying. The frustrated fan sport says, post a GoFundMe, I'm down to support. I don't know if that there's a GoFundMe. I just know that yeah, I just know that Otis asked us to go to the Facebook page for Billy Graham and, you know, share and, you know, communicate the page, you know, show what you have, you know, as far as artwork is concerned, stuff like that. Do videos, stuff like that. You know, it's not about, you know, putting, you know, dollars in somebody's pocket at this point.
Yeah,
But
no,
what it
not at
is
all.
about
No.
putting your heart, you know, in stuff like that. And it doesn't, and like I said earlier, it's low hanging fruit. It's easy to share,
Easy.
and it's about sharing the right things, though. So yeah, man. I myself, you know, one of the things about being an old head, Otis, is that I see a lot of opportunities for our young people, and I feel like at times I have to step in so that they don't go down the same toe up road I went down, or you know, to just give them perspective. Because I remember I was in a bookstore. I had a page out of the Black Man book. Jay did a custom for me, and it was a page out of, and it was Reverend Prayer. And a guy, young cat, he looked at it and he said, "What's that?" And then he was like, he was so naive. He was like, "I can draw better than that." And I said, "Hold on, let me teach you on what this is." You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about, you know, lording over him or trolling him at that point, or him trolling me. It was more about, you know, let me enlighten you to the history of this book and what this comes out of, because that's another story for another day. For you talk about missed opportunities. Anyway, we another hour talking about that story. But suffice to say that when we are willing to share and we're willingly open, when our young people come to us, when the BGs are coming to the OGs and saying, "Hey, put me up on game," or "Hey, tell me about this dude," or "What makes this dude so great?" Because that's the thing about old people. You and I have lived and navigated through white supremacy for however long we've been alive. You know, there's a lot of people that don't live to see 20, don't live to see 30, don't live to see 40, don't live to see 50. I was one of those people. I thought I was going to be dead by the time I was 30. I'm about to be 55 in September. And it was because I lived in the hood, you know, yeah, gangsters, drugs, women with that bug. Yeah, someone's going to get you. But you're able to navigate that, make it through, right? And so you're not able to do that unless you learn a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to cats like Billy Graham or whatever, it's like somebody might think that, I don't know, I like Marcus Williams and he's cool. And some of his stuff is pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. But when I think of Billy Graham, I think of soul. You know what I'm saying?
Talk heavy.
I mean,
talk heavy.
It's soul. It's not it's not polished. It's soul. It's like, okay, it's like they took this dude off the train.
Yeah.
and put him on front of a sketch. I mean, his art is pretty amazing. And you got to remember, this is the late 60s, early 70s. So, again, it is what it is, guys. So, Otis, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Do you have any final comments, suggestions, or things you want to lay on us before we get out of here, man?
Yes. First, earlier I said I missed an opportunity to do a variant cover. And I want to publicly apologize to Desmond. I wasn't there, bro. I'm sorry. I should have reached out to you personal one-on-one. Just didn't work out that way. So if we cross paths again, cool. If we don't, I can understand that. I'm not going to apologize for being as passionate as I am about these groups and about this community, this collective.
That's right.
I get excited because I'm mainly a loner and always have been. I'm a tattoo artist. I've worked on thousands of people, but I'm to myself. I'm more with y'all than I am with people that I actually see every day.
Right. I
love these groups and I love what I've learned and I love the guys and the ladies and everybody in here. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't want anyone to think that I meant any disrespect. And if it was taken that way, that's not where it came from. I am just, if I mess up, then you call me on it. I got no problem. If I mess up, you say, yo, Otis, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? And that's all I wanted to say tonight. And to be honest with you, this was the edited version. You know what I'm saying? keeping it funky, it was the edited version. Right. Yeah, right. So what I want going forward, I just want us to work together because we are too powerful collectively that we can't just sit here and let this just kind of just float. You know what I'm saying? It's never been anything like this. What we're doing right now has never been anything like this. So let's just move forward and do it. And the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to quote my brother Big Phil. I know I ruffled a lot of feathers tonight. Some cats might even not even mess with me after this. Okay? And I can understand that. But to quote my brother Phil, my wife is bad, my kids are all right, and my collection is dope. So I'm going to be okay. All right? Just keep it 100. Just keep it 100.
Yeah.
But I really hope that I didn't ruffle too many feathers, and I'm just here to work. I'm here to work and I'm here to serve. So let's help Billy Graham's granddaughter get his name out there, and let's keep giving Mr. Fuller. Yes, talk about Mr. Fuller, not just once this exhibit is done, we're gonna keep them in. We're gonna keep them in this group. Keep it going. We're not gonna just stop this and keep it pushing. It wasn't just one event. We're gonna do something. We are. So thank you for your time, and thanks for having me.
That's what's up. So yeah, guys. First, I think, Otis, that the spirit of what you shared, it should be received. You know, in a place of, you know, humility, and in a place of, you know, food for thought. You know what I'm saying? So, want to thank you for coming on, man, and sharing your heart with us. You know what I'm saying? You've given us a lot to think about. You challenged us. You held us accountable. You gave us, you know, you gave us our marching orders. Let's get together. Let's make some things happen. You know, especially with Billy Graham's family and whatnot. And we'll put all that in the chat, and we'll make sure we'll post some things in the, you know, in the group, so you guys can follow up and be a part of that as well. But as we said on the comment, save the date. Luke Cage 50th anniversary celebration roundtable is going to be June the 24th, 2022 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm telling you, we're going to have a good old time. We're going to talk about Luke Cage. We're going to talk about the creators. We're going to talk about the artists. We're going to talk about the character. We're going to talk about, you know, his progression. And we're going to talk about these books in our long boxes, you know, and why Luke Cage is one of the most misunderstood Black characters that we have, and that is dope, you know. So we got something for you on the 24th. You best believe it. We want to see your face in the place. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But if you want to send us an email, if anything Otis said kind of ruffled your feathers, I'm going to tell you like this. Come holler at your boy. I ain't hard to find.
You can holler at me if you want. You can holler at me if you want. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I'm just if they get mad or whatever, you can holler at me or whatever, you know. Either way, we go what my brother has requested and has passionately expressed. You know what I'm saying? We have to do right by those who do right by us. And so with that, you know what I'm saying, we're going to keep it a stack. So if you do have any concerns, though, hit us in the email. Send us an email to you go. He hitting us with the
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Kind of late on the button on that, bro. But anyway.
Yeah, a little bit.
But listen, for those of you guys who are, you know, new to our channel or new to the site, you know what I'm saying, go to blackcomiclords.net, where you'll find a lot of interesting and dope information about comic books, comic characters, comic creators. And, you know, again, we got some over there for you. Got some merch, you know, you can check that out. You know what I'm saying? You can get a backpack, you can get a hat, get a t-shirt or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Support the channel, because we're doing big things over here. And guess what? We do all right with a little duct tape and prayers, but we could use your support. Either way. It's your boy Rich again. We coming at you live, Black Popped Up Sitting Low edition of Wakanda whiskey and bourbon blurred. And since I don't drink, it's you know, fat-free water. How about that?
I was drinking tea. I was drinking tea to keep my voice up. Right. So
yeah, man. That's what's up. We love you. Right. Peace. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Be blessed. Till next time. Peace.
Later.
We out.
Later.
That was a great live, fellas.
Yo.
Yeah.
You had people getting their feelings and emotional.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm gonna get a little hate mail for this one. I know I am, and that's all right. I don't care.
Man. You spoke truth. You spoke truth to power, brother. I mean, it had to be said. It had to be. There's nothing I was playing around, joking around with those disclaimers, but there's nothing that you guys said tonight that, first of all, didn't need to be said, and secondly, was untrue. You can't.
It's all on point.
You will never ultimately do wrong by speaking truth to power. So, my hat's off to you. Oh, we appreciate you coming in and sharing the gospel with us tonight. That was. I am proud that I gave you my slot tonight.
Thank you for allowing me there, and I appreciate y'all letting me speak my mind, and having faith in me that I wasn't gonna go off the rails. I know I hit some nerves. I know I did, and if I get canceled, I get canceled, and I'm all right with that. I'm still gonna make history. I'm still gonna be sending y'all links to stuff for Mr. Fuller, Don McGregor, Shauna Graham. I mean, I'm